So we're here on a Thursday night in San Diego, California. Say hi, Zach.
Hello.
That's Zach. It's my friend Zach. We have a guest on Coast to Coast Pinball tonight. It's episode number 97. Let's go. Welcome to Coast to Coast Pinball. My name is Nate Shivers. This is podcast commentary, man at a quarters. As I said in the intro, the one, the only, Mr. Zach, the Z-Man, joins us on Coast to Coast Pinball here in the studio, not live to tape. How you doing, Zach?
Good. How you doing?
I'm good, man. So you've been mentioned on the show before, many times actually, as my coworker Zach at Taylor Guitars, who's also into pinball. And as the story goes, when I got to Taylor, I heard you talking about pinball, and I was like, oh, you're into pinball. And you were like, yeah, I'm into pinball. And I was like, in my head, yeah, I'm into pinball, but I haven't really paid any attention to pinball in years. I should, get back into pinball. And I got back into pinball, and now I'm hosting a podcast, episode number 97, and you're on it, finally.
It's awesome.
So, you're going to have to bring a little more to the game than that now. So, anyway.
We can edit this, right?
No, there will be no editing. So, tell our listeners, Zach, about your history with pinball, because that's what everyone wants to know. It's every interview in this hobby always starts with, so how'd you get into pinball? So I'm going to ask you the cliche of the questions. How'd you get into pinball?
Well, I think it was more of a nostalgic thing, like growing up. Playing pinball.
So what era did you grow up in?
70s.
70s.
Yeah, 70s, and then the big arcade thing in the 80s. But I still liked pinball in the 80s, and I think got back into pinball, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago. When did you start at Taylor? I mean,
like almost 3 years ago.
Yeah. I think it was Monty, who told me, hey, there's a Pinball Hall of Fame in Las Vegas. And I was like, really? Like, wow. So I'm actually, so I went there and it was awesome. And then took lots of trips out to Vegas to play all these pinball machines. Then started looking for more pinballs, and you got into it, and then you told me about the pinball app. And
so why have you not bought a game yet?
What's
your problem, dude?
I'm a cheap SOB.
Is that what it is? I don't think that's what it is.
I'm fronting a lot of financial things right now. I have a condo, I've got a house. I've got more financial pressures. I have a wife.
I'm just kidding. Robin's a sweetheart.
Actually, the more rhetorical question is, why don't I tune into your podcast? If I've been mentioned on your show, I really should be more involved with that.
I gave you the soft sell, gave you a t-shirt, mention it. Hey, nothing, no listening.
Hey, look,
I think I set the podcast app on your phone for you after a year of you not having the ability because you were on the old iPhone 3.
Maybe it's a little bit of a generational thing, but while you're podcasting and doing all this great stuff, which I'm totally envious of, I'm sitting back going, man, let's open an arcade. Let's do this. You're like, no, there's no money in it. I'm like, we need to bridge the gap here. And you have a vehicle that most pinball manufacturers would love to exploit to promote their products. I just want to have an arcade and sell craft beer or have some other business tied with it to make money.
So you basically want to turn $100,000 into $50,000 is what you're telling me.
I'll be like Bill Collins. How do you make $1 million? Start with 2.
Start with 2, yeah, exactly. So getting back to the games, though, because this show's about pinball and the games, not the business. People get mad at me because I talk about the business too much. You believe that? They get mad at me, Zach. What were the games you grew up with? What were in your wheelhouse? What are when you think pinball? What are the games that pop in your head?
The 70s classics, like the original Playboy, the original Captain Fantastic, Space Invaders, Xeon. Is that it?
Xenon.
Xenon, or how they pronounce it. Black Knight.
So really, you're on that late 70s, early 80s cut.
Yeah, late 70s, early 80s.
The crossover from the electromechanical games into the solid state games with numeric and alphanumeric.
Like what's 1976, right? Was that the crossover?
Yeah, right in that area. Yeah.
What's interesting is when I go to, say, Silver Ball Museum, or if I go to a pinball place like Baltimore, and I'll play a game and I know it's made, say, 1969, I think, oh, wow, it seems like this was made, later. Mm-hmm. It's difficult. It seems like from 68 or 65 on through the 70s, it's hard to distinguish. If you don't tell me what year it is, I'll think, oh, that seems like it's an antique game. And it's
we were
not.
playing Skylab earlier out in my living room, and you thought it was a lot older than
I thought it was
70.
I thought it felt like a 60s game.
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I own the game. I don't know.
Well, it felt to me like a 60s game, and maybe it's because my initial pinball playing was at the crossover of electromechanical to digital display.
Were games a nickel back then?
No, they were. No, but I think certain candy was like a quarter too. I remember $20 going a lot further than it does now.
Well, I mean, there was nickel candy when I was a kid.
They were nickels. There were games where you rub your feet on the carpet to generate static, electricity, and then swipe your quarter across it to start the game up for free.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
We got thrown out of the arcade fun and games in the Mission Viejo Mall for doing that. Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
You never heard that? So you hold the quarter and you obviously rub your feet on the carpet and it generates an amount of static electricity, and then you strike the coin box, and sometimes you would start the game up.
Oh, wow, that's news to me. I've never heard that. Very interesting.
Well, it would work on like some of the cheesier video games that were kind of like equivalent to like Pong, like a real basic driving game or something. But back then, that was the whole to me, here's the thing. To answer your question, why don't I own a machine? It's absurd. What I really want, I want the arcade experience. And I don't even want the free play experience. I want to go to where there's a bunch of games, put in quarters, earn free games. Like, I want the whole experience. Where if I go to a place where it's all free play, well then, okay, I can just drain as many balls and it's not that much challenging. If I own the game, you know this, you buy a game and you're like sick of it. You want to buy it and sell it. It's like, it's the same reason why I don't have a tattoo. Like, if I put a tattoo on, it's like, well, either get a lot more or I get sick of it, and well, now what? I can't take it off, So I want an arcade where I can have a choice of 50 to 100 games, because you get sick of them. I mean, you master it, you get it down. I mean, let's face it, like your machines, it's really cool. Your name's on all over, and you just get a vibe or a feel for it. And if we go to the Hall of Fame in Vegas, you'll play a game for a while. Like, I've got this down. Now let's move on. It's the novelty. It's the challenge. It's the experience, and maybe trying to relive a certain part of the past. I mean, not to get like down that road, but we spend our youth trying to attain wealth, and then our wealth trying to attain youth. And so there's that little coin flip of like, okay, I want to like play games because it makes me feel young, or I want to hear 80s music because it reminds me of when I was a teenager, or that kind of thing. So pinball is kind of like that for me. And I don't get into it like when I was in New York City playing at
Modern Pinball.
I haven't been in Modern Pinball.
Oh, you went to Reciprocal.
Reciprocal, and the other one, 2 Bits.
2 Bits Retro Arcade, yeah.
There are guys in there who like slide the machines. When you were telling me about it, I was like, really?
I've never seen anything like New York City players sliding machines 2 feet to the right or left.
I've never seen that, but that was happening. And I was shocked. I'm like, oh, look at these guys. I mean, you're going to damage the machine. And what I thought was interesting was I was playing one guy who was entering a tournament, and we were going back and forth, and he was acting like the big shot, and he was sliding it and doing all this stuff. When it really came down to it, some games I beat him, and some games he beat me, but it wasn't like, I guess I wasn't convinced that that sliding technique really made as much of a difference as they were making out to be. But I am aware there are some great pro players, even here in San Diego, who like their names are all over, and they own machines, and they have them all over the place.
Oh, yeah.
And so
I agree with the whole sliding thing. Honestly, if you go to a real tournament, and I've played in some Papa sanctioned tournaments, you can't slide a game like that. The tilts are set so tight. Right. I played Genie in Atlanta in the Classics Division tournament, which you'd love it. And I had a great time, and I couldn't play the Modern Division because I wasn't going to be there for the finals the next day. So there's no sense in spending money to enter that. So I'm playing the Classics, where I don't belong. Yeah. And I was doing very well. They had it broken down A Division, B Division, and on day one, I was number 1 on the B Division, which is hilarious. I finished 9th. Top 8 went to the finals, of course. Brutal. But the Genie there, you couldn't touch the game. Like, I saw a guy hit the flipper hard, just kind of a side hit, just to keep the ball moving that way, tilt it out. It was amazing, over and over. So I see these guys do that, and if they're playing their league, probably is what they're probably playing in New York, is they have pretty big pinball leagues around New York City, and they're sliding the game left and right. And 2 Bits is probably the worst I've seen it, because they have a hard floor there. And some of those games tilts are obviously either off or set very loose. They'll slide it around. However, watching the great players, and I've stood right behind the top 2 or 3 players in the world, It's nudging. It's all about nudging. It's the nudging of the ball to keep it out of the out lanes. It's huge. That's how you have to do that at high level pinball.
Where have you seen like the top players like at tournaments?
Well, the first place that I will gladly take you to in January when it happens again is the tournament It Never Drains in Southern California.
That's right.
I mean, the number one player in the world was there, and I watched him play, and he's not sliding the game all over, but he's nudging the game like crazy.
Yeah.
And a lot of these guys, like, there's a guy who has a website called Fun with Bonus. His name's Steve Bowden. Good dude. And I watch him play a lot. And he and I are friendly, so he has no problem with me kind of, like, really... I don't like it when people stand there and stare at me playing in a tournament type situation. I'm not good enough to overcome that. Steve seems to not mind if I watch him because he knows all the rules to every game. And if you ask him a question about rules, he'll just rattle off, like, oh, you got to hit the bonus multiplier, blah, blah, and you're like, what? But I watch him play, and there's a nudging fact that even on these games with really tight tilts, these great players know, okay, I'm about to lose this ball, so I'm going to go for the nudge.
Yeah, I guess, and I remember we were at the Silver Ball Museum, we were talking about one guy who said, it's boring when these guys compete because they learn a way to get these points over and over and over, and there's a strategy of the game. Like, I just want to play the game.
Yeah, it was funny. Steve said something to me actually at that same tournament. I was talking to him, asking him how the modern division was going. And, they have games like X-Men in that, Mustang was in that, and there was some kind of weird game like Striker Extreme, or it wasn't Striker, but it was another, like, it was World Cup Soccer is what it was. Obscure game that nobody knows. And he said when they all got there and saw that World Cup Soccer was in the A division modern lineup for the tournament, they all started, like, calling a few guys that are experts on that era games going, okay, so what's the weakness of this game? How do I rack up the points on this game? What do I do? Because they all have the skill, I shouldn't say that. There's a group of players out there. It's okay. There's a group of players out there that are so good at putting the ball where they want it. They've moved past that. That's what I'm worried about constantly, is trying to get the ball where I want it to go. There's a whole other group of players that are worried about, okay, what's the best option right now? Should I be hitting this lane to build this, or should I be building here, or should I be trying for this?
And to get more points? Or
yeah, to get more points. They broadcast like the Papa tournaments. I watch these guys on Whitewater, and they have the Papa guys commentating, and they know the rules so deep. It's almost like it doesn't sound like pinball to me anymore because they know so far down the road on how to score on these. It's amazing.
Well, that was part of the discussion, too, in Special Unlit, the documentary, that there was that transition of pinball machines where there was that strategy of, okay, hit this, then let it this, then do this. And it happens when we play pinball. Like, okay, we'll start playing and say Star Trek or whatever, and you'll say, all right, so what you want to do is hit this first, then do this and this. Part of me is like, I don't even really care. And then another part of me is, well, now that I know that, and that's the strategy, does it make it as fun or less fun? It's like music. Like, if I hear a song I love, and then I learn to play it on the guitar,
and you learn that it's G, C, and D.
And I learn that it's super simple, or that it's this form. I go, oh man, I thought it was so much more than that. It's almost like let the mystery be a little bit.
Sure.
But
it's one of the reasons I actually really, really enjoyed that Classics tournament, because it levels the playing field a little bit with some of those games, because there was a couple really old EM games in there, like Abracadabra. There's no deep rule set there. It's like hit all the targets down and then keep the ball alive. And so at least on that side of it, I'm equal with the best player in the world, because we both know that we got to knock all those targets down and keep the ball alive and hit and score. Whereas if you put me and him on X-Men, he knows what order to beat the bad guys in. He knows what, and I'm just like, yeah, Magneto.
Well, and I think just even being at the Silver Ball Museum was cool, because I think I kind of turned you on more to games like from the mid '70s, like even originally Playboy. You're like, no, we're gonna actually play this. Like, you were just.
I've told that story on the show. That you showed me Playboy and how it was actually really cool and how to do it.
But at first you're looking and go, this is boring as shit. Like, what? It goes in the grotto and that's it. It's like,
I have to timestamp your swearing, Zach. It's a family show. This is not Coast to Coast swearing with Nate and Zach. This is Coast to Coast Pinball.
You probably have to go over the whole thing then.
No. I mean, maybe I'll miss some. But at least I'll make an effort that at 1350.
All right, no bad language, sorry.
It's all right.
It was a family game. I mean, that's, part of me likes the Pinball Hall of Fame because it's, you got to be 21 and over, or 18, and then, or be accompanied by an adult. But then another part of me is like, well, then why can't kids have fun? We need more, younger generation.
I don't even think I realized you had to be 21 to go in there.
There's a rule that if you're under a certain age, you have to have a parent with.
Okay.
They just don't want a bunch of riffraff.
When was the last time you were at the Pinball Hall of Fame?
That's a question. What was it, last year? It was when, who's the owner, Tom? Who's the owner of
Tim Arnold.
Yeah, last time I went, I was disappointed. My birthday last year,
Okay.
February.
Okay, so you've been more. I haven't been in like 2 years.
That's last time I went. I was disappointed at how many games were out of service. How, yeah, there wasn't the variety. It was clearly going down. I don't want to say downhill, but just before he had people working for him, fixing games. I liked the different location. The other location was more, it had more carpet, lower ceilings. It wasn't just a big cavernous echo chamber. It was still busy though, and it was fun. But after talking with people on the flight to Vegas and other people in town, there are other options. You know, there's a place downtown in Fremont area. There's also
just to go play games. It's still a great collection. Did you play by chance the Pinball Circus game? Do you know what I'm talking about?
Which one is that?
It's an upright game.
Oh, the multi-level.
Yeah, did you
costs
play that?
$1 or something.
Yeah,
I've played that before. I didn't play it the last time.
they're remaking that game.
Oh, really?
You know, the guy that designed this artwork here on the Bride of Pinbot, his name is Python Angelo.
Yeah.
He died recently, and his dying wish was that they would actually make. He designed that game for Williams right before he left Williams, and so a group of people have gotten together to try and produce that game.
It's an interesting story because they're at the time that game was released, they were trying to
do something different,
do something totally different.
Yeah,
it's an interesting game.
Yeah, apparently it's not complete. That version is not fully. My cat's crawling on Zach. That game is missing a lot of the options that the designer had originally.
Well, because it's expensive, right? I mean, it was a tough.
That was their story. He claims it shouldn't have been that expensive.
Oh, okay. So that was not.
We'll see.
That's not true.
There's a lot of talk right now in the community of they're remaking this. How much is it going to cost?
Yeah.
We'll see.
And it's going to be. Well, it has to be made in America.
It'll be made in America, yeah.
Which is great. I mean.
So again, why don't you own a game, dude? No, I think that's a valid point, though. I think one of the things with the deeper rule sets in the games is
it's fine. You can leave the cat on the.
Cisco
she knows I'm a cat lover.
Yeah, well, she knows you. I think one of the things with the deep rule sets, as I corral my cat, is when you do own a game at home, you don't want it to get boring. You don't want to burn out on it. You want to be able to, go farther with it, and that's why that influences the value of some games. You see a game like a Xenon or something like that. That's a really fun game. That's from your era of pinball. Mm-hmm. But the games that are now demanding the big money for the home use tend to be games with these really deep rule sets. If you look at Stern's games from the mid to early 2000s, you can go from a game like Austin Powers, which granted terrible theme and whatnot, to Lord of the Rings, which does have the theme going for it. It also has this deep, long rule set story that keeps the price real high because people can buy that and enjoy it not for just a month and be sick of it. It might be 6 months and you'll never see all of that game.
That's a good point. I mean, I did play Lord of the Rings, at a local place, and they would rotate the games out like Twilight Zone, Lord of the Rings, Monopoly, Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Oh yeah, one of my all-time favorites, Roller Coaster.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a great game.
I don't like that.
You don't like it? Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah,
I like that too. I mean, so even the newer games, when I go to the Pinball Hall of Fame, I want to play the new games. I also want to play the old ones. I mean, Metallica, AC/DC.
That's actually, there's a thread on Pinside right now all about someone who went to the Pinball Hall of Fame and asked Tim directly, where's Mustang? The new Stern game. And he just said he decided to pass on that game. He just wasn't going to buy it. And there's some talk that he has a kind of a distaste for that designer's games. John Trudeau, who designed, Bride of Pinbot, Judge Dredd, some of those, doesn't like them, says they don't earn well. And then, maybe he just didn't like that particular game. But he's bought some of the newer Stern, Star Trek and Metallica.
Yeah.
But to me, if I'm going to have a Hall of Fame, which granted that's sort of maybe the wrong term, but if I'm going to have this mecca place, whatever you want to call it, of pinball, yeah, I want to buy all the new games and have the latest 5 or 6 games always there, even if you get rid of some of them over time, but have all those there so that people interested in the hobby can see the latest greatest.
Well, it seems like every time I've been to the Hall of Fame, the games that get the most attention are the new ones. I mean, those are your bread and butter, biggest money generators, hands down.
And that collection was pretty heavy on some of the older games, though.
It's very heavy on games from the 50s and 60s, and that aisle is not, it's not as well played. The same thing with the Silver Ball. There's that whole row against the glass that's older machines, and they don't get as much play.
Yeah, that night you and I were in Jersey in Asbury Park, we played till I think almost they closed, right? One night at midnight, and there was maybe 6 or 8 of us even in the place. We were all in the modern games, and there was nobody over on the other side.
Nobody in the old, So you have to have the modern games.
Yeah, and that is one of the best collections in the world of older games.
I still haven't been to the place in
Pinball Wizard
in New Hampshire.
Same thing there. You go in there and the super modern stuff's all on the right hand wall, and that's the busy stuff. Basically, mid 90s Williams and on. Basically, Addams Family on. That's the busy stuff. Whereas the other rows where you see some of the older games, the genies and stuff.
It begs the question: do you integrate your new games with old games?
I see both happening out there. Some of the best collections out there have done a good job of that. But there's also, I know I forget the names of all these places I haven't been to yet, which is bad of me. But there's collections in Virginia Beach and Austin. There's a really good one in Oklahoma City. Actually.
Virginia Beach?
Yeah,
I used to go there all the time.
South Virginia Beach,
and I never found it. I was at a truck stop in Virginia Beach playing Sopranos. Which
Yeah, that era Stern, like Elvis, The Sopranos, those games, I have a tough time with those. Those are not my favorite games.
When it's Virginia Beach and it's a truck stop,
you're happy.
You take what you can get.
Agreed.
I guess my dream arcade, I would call it the Twilight Zone, and then I would do rooms based on the era. So 50s would be decorated with 50s decor and memorabilia, 60s, 70s, 80s. So you really felt like you were in, there was an arcade in Fullerton called the Reagan Years. And it was decorated with stuff that, remind you of the 80s. And that's what I would do. So you really want to go back in time, that kind of theme. And I don't know if that would work or not yet.
I mean, if you have the space, and
and the money,
it could work. So give me like a top 3 or top 4 list games for Zach of all time. Like, what are your favorite games?
Creature of the Black Lagoon.
Creature of the Black Lagoon, okay. John Trudeau game, great.
Yeah. I mean, I know you say it's dark, but I mean, it lights up.
It is dark, and I think the vision lines are a little awkward. I do like that game. I have a love-hate with that. One time I'll play it, and I don't like it. The next time I love it.
Part of it, too, is just the audio with it. Like, I just love the dialogue. It'll put a smile on my face. I'll just be laughing while playing the game. It's yelling at me, focus. Yeah. Snack bar is now open for your snack and convenience.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, what else?
The
dog wants to be walked. Ignore it. These animals are hijacking this show. It's Coast to Coast Pet Hospital right now with Nate and Zach. Ridiculous.
Twilight Zone, obviously. Okay. Addams Family, and I guess those two machines are pretty close.
Well, I mean, yeah, same designer, same era.
Yeah.
To me, the biggest difference, and I don't know if people. So when I play Addams Family now, I feel like I own a Twilight Zone. I know it intimately. When I play Addams Family, it's not a wide body.
That's right. It's narrower.
So it's narrower, and that changes the feel completely. Everything's much tighter, much. It's quicker around the flippers too. Like Twilight Zone, and maybe I didn't realize it until I brought other games in and around Twilight Zone more, especially getting Tales from the Crypt in here. Twilight Zone is kind of slow. Like I have it set really steep there, so that the ball is coming down at you quicker. But there's a lot of space for the ball to cover.
True. I mean, it seems like. You play Twilight Zone, then you go play like AC/DC, Metallica, the new games, and
they're lightning fast.
Lightning fast, yeah.
You have a lot of things working for you there. Generally, those games play fields are fresher, clear coats, so it's just a smoother surface. Stern sets their slingshots so strong on their new games. I mean, I played a Mustang that had been out of the box for about 6 hours in Modern Pinball in New York. The ball launching off, it was too much. In fact, they told me they were going to turn them down because you can adjust that. It was ridiculous. The flippers were really strong, and the slingshots were just lightning fast.
I haven't seen Mustang. When did it come out?
Oh, let's see. Where are we in July? So it came out about 5-6 months ago. John Trudeau design, Creature from Black Lagoon. In fact, it has the circle whirlpool ball return down over the right flipper in lane, like Creature of the Black Lagoon. Colorful game, lots of reds and lights and. It's a better game than I think the theme told us as a community. The theme was announced and it was met with a big like Mustang, really, like but the game's fun. It's fast. I mean, it's certainly another fast game. There's a row of drop targets in the middle, sort of like Judge Dredd type of deal, with a big Mustang model car in the middle. And on the nicer versions of the game, it rotates.
What's the one where the ball goes around the perimeter? Is it NASCAR?
NASCAR does that. Yeah.
I was in
or is that Indianapolis 500? I would get those two confused all the time. I think it's NASCAR.
I was in Roanoke playing that right before the road show, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, NASCAR is a game that I talked about probably 10 or 12 episodes ago as a game I overlooked for a long time because I don't love the theme. I'm not a race car guy.
Yeah.
And I played it at length somewhere and kind of loved it. I was kind of like, this game's fun. You know, it's one of those games that could have been really, really great if they'd made the rules a little bit better. It's a little short-sighted on rules. Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, those games, and then like Space Invaders or Captain Fantastic, Playboy, the original one. Is it Night Ride or Trucker or something? It's like from the 70s as well.
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And Xenon.
What do we play in New Jersey that you really like? You liked, was it Medusa? Is that the one you liked?
Medusa, that was cool. And the one you turned me on to, that we blow up the castle, it's a newer one.
Oh, Medieval Madness?
Medieval Madness.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was cool. And then the Whitewater one.
Whitewater. You liked Whitewater a lot.
What was it called?
Whitewater. Yeah.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, so... Yeah, it's like, and that's the cool thing about, like, hey, I was in somewhere else in Virginia, very rural, and it had like a Harley Davidson pinball machine. Yep. I'm like, I don't really care.
And see, that's the first Stern game, because Data East became Sega became Stern, and Sega was making Harley Davidson during that transition.
And I'll think, not really into it, and I'll play it and love it. Like, this is a great game. So that's kind of fun.
It's funny. I got an email today that was this like long diatribe that I'll read on the show eventually at some point about, it was somebody trying to convince me that I'm wrong about Indiana Jones, the Pinball Adventure, the Williams Indiana Jones.
Which one? There's a couple.
It's the Williams one, the wide body one that came out after Twilight Zone. Not the Stern one that's newer that they have over at Nickel City.
The Stern one has like all 3 episodes wrapped into one.
Yeah. This is the one with drop targets in the center and like the kids' faces on it a bunch. Has the
thing
that's the wide body one. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the Williams one. That's regarded as a top 20 game to most people.
It is.
I've never loved that game.
What are you talking about?
I've just never loved it. It's just a game that I never really know what I'm doing. I can't ever hit the shots very well. It doesn't line up to my eyes right. I've never loved it. And so I got this email today. This guy just like going, basically
just railing you about it.
Well, no, because he was really nice about it. Rarely do I get a really mean email. Every once in a while, I'll get some guy just trying to get noticed, I guess. Just writes me the bad email. But this guy it was a friendly, like, jabbing, like, here's why this game's great. And I will give him his fair shot on the show when I get to that email. But the whole time I'm reading it, I'm kind of smiling because, yeah, I may say I don't love that game and I'm not in love with it, but I say this too. Any pinball's better than no pinball. I still like it. It's not like I'm going, I don't want to waste my time playing that game. No, I still really like it, but I don't love it. It's just, I've got to have varying degrees on this stuff because I host a podcast.
Well, I remember playing the newer Indiana Jones one, which has all 3 movies, and playing it for a long time and going, okay, this is fun, but it's not as challenging as the Williams one. Yeah. And the Williams one just has more going on.
There's a lot going on in that game.
Yeah. That's a more of a fun game. And I like the quotes. So I'm a big audio guy. I like music, right? So like all the audio quotes from the new Indiana Jones, it's great.
Really good. You like that?
I love it. Yeah, it's hysterical.
Yeah, I remember we played the Williams version in New Jersey. You were killing me on that game.
I don't even remember playing it.
Yeah,
there.
You and I.
Did they even have it there in New Jersey?
Yeah, they do. They have it there. They have the original one. So, but that was kind of my point. Is like this guy's just like, no, dude, this game's awesome, and I'm like, yeah, I know it's good, but it's just not my favorite.
What's the one we were playing with the drop targets that had the ace, king, queen, the
Joker poker? Yeah.
Again, I thought the game was older, but it's actually not as old as I thought it was.
I would have to look Joker poker up. I actually don't recall.
You have to look it up.
There's so many card-based pinball machines too. I kind of get them confused.
But yeah, a good electric what do they call it? EM? Is that what you're?
Well, the electromechanical games are EMs, yeah.
Yeah, the good EM machine that has drop targets and the bumpers, and it's a pretty fast game. Is just as entertaining as some of the newer modern machines. Yeah, that thing, Joker Poker,
1978.
See, there you go, 78. That game would be in the era when I was playing pinball, but I never remembered or saw it.
And that's actually a solid state game. That's not an EM. That is after the transition where you started seeing solid state based machines.
And I'm not as well versed on machine history and details as you are, because I look at that and I associate. I mean, that thing just screams 60s to me.
Well, basically, you'll know that it's EM if you see scoring reels. If you see physical numbers that are turning over like Skylab out there, and that has a numeric display for each score. So that's going to be a solid state game.
Really going to regret having me on your show. I should have done my homework before doing the podcast.
This whole episode is dedicated to the one guy who wrote me the email about, dude, really 92 episodes of just you talking? Can't you find a co-host? And I read that. I looked at him. I'm like, dude, I have 92 episodes because I don't have a co-host.
Okay,
and I don't have to wait for some other person to record my episodes.
So is he suggesting that if this show gets any success or people like it, then you want me back on the show?
Oh, he could suggest all he wants. I have no problem with. I enjoy what he was basically saying is, he likes the aspect of two people talking about pinball. He wants to listen to a conversation. My show tends to be me in like long essay form, just talking about something and commenting.
Well, I mean, look at Kevin Smith. He does, podcasts, and people don't get tired of hearing those.
He's Kevin Smith. I'm just some schlep who has 3 games in a room that should only have 2.
Yeah, but I've again, this is your whole thing is akin to my wife saying, "I'm going to grow vegetables in the backyard." In my mind, I'm like, yeah, right, okay, whatever. Like, you're going to do something, and it's not going to amount to anything. And it has totally amounted to something much more substantial. I'm stunned. I'm impressed and have a lot of respect for what you do. And my wife doing the garden thing, like, she'll put a salad out and say, 99% of this came from the backyard. So in your face, like, this is a real garden. Like, you're right.
That's awesome.
So what you've done is awesome. I think it's great that you're buying machines, you're doing the podcast, you're helping promote pinball.
I love it because, look, you and I work in an industry that a lot of people would like give a finger to get into. I know. We have jobs that people.
I know they want my job. They
people
want your
want
job.
our jobs. We
Why
sell
is
guitars.
that? Why?
Because we sell something fun. We deal with something fun. Throughout the day, you and I can pick up a guitar and just sit and kill 10 minutes anytime we want. No one would ever look twice at us.
And how often do we do that?
No, very rarely.
Never.
There's way too much other stuff to complain about than to play guitar. But we could. And a lot of people probably think that's what we do all day. So I grew up being a really big fan of music and guitar. It was a big thing to me. But I've spent, the better part of 20 years doing that now, working in that industry.
Right.
Pinball is another one of those things. I grew up obsessed with pinball. I used to dream about going to Peter Piper Pizza in Tucson, Arizona, and playing the Doctor Who pinball machine when I was 13 years old or 14 years old, when that was brand new. I was so in love with pinball. And so to get back into it in my, 30s has been so fun because it's not my job. It's not serious. It's just pinball.
Right.
Like Rudy says in Funhouse, it's only pinball. It's just pinball. And so the podcast is born out of me also growing up being obsessed with radio. I used to listen to talk radio as a teenager all night long.
Did you record, I don't know what era, like when did you grow up? In the 80s or?
80s and 90s, yeah.
Did you record songs off the radio?
Oh, yeah.
What was the medium? Cassettes, obviously.
Cassettes, yeah. Okay. It was cassettes.
So I was the same thing, like obsessed with music and recorded music. I started reel to reel. That's my big Sony reel-to-reel machine. My dad didn't want me touching it because I'm going to wreck his equipment, but I just loved music was everything. So kind of the same thing. So for you, this is like combining pinball and your love of music and kind of your own hobby.
I did college radio. And everyone I ever met in radio said to me, "Don't get into radio."
Like, you did radio in college? You had a show, or what did you?
Arizona State has the Walter Cronkite School of Broadcasting, and they had a really pro radio station, but it was not an FCC licensed station, so I had a 1 mile throw, and I did a weekly show with another student, a girl, and she and I hosted like a call-in music show. We were trying to hack off of Loveline and that stuff, It was that whole vibe.
Well, I grew up in Southern California, so obviously Loveline, KROQ, that was the thing. And driving home from Los Angeles after visiting my friend, I'd listen to KCRW, and it was Brave New World with Trisha Halloran, and Morning Becomes a Collective with Chris Doritas, who did the soundtrack for American Beauty.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, I think I always wanted to be a DJ, like you look out there and go, I could be like John Cusack or Howard Stern.
Oh, me too. It's funny you're asking me about growing up with cassettes and stuff. I remember when I must have been 8 or 9. I took all my tapes, and we're talking like Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet, Poison, Look What the Cat Dragged In, and like some random pop thing like Lionel Richie Dancing on the Ceiling. And I laid them all out, right?
Dancing on the Ceiling.
I'm serious. This is in the Ghostbusters soundtrack.
Nice.
And I laid them all out, and I would play a song on the one side and record it to the second side onto like a blank tape. And I had a microphone, this little cheesy plug-in microphone, and then I would talk and introduce the next song and then record the next song. So I had a whole thing of me introducing each song in a row.
I used to make compilations for my friends in high school, and I would DJ them.
Now, time out. You still make compilations for your friends, Zach?
I still make compilations, but now I just crossfade them and I don't talk at all.
You were actually talking during
I was talking them, and I would talk about their girlfriends, or I'd talk about...
Where can we find one of these?
Oh, I know. There's some really incriminating evidence. I've got thousands of cassettes. I can go through them. But yeah, I used to make... And
I have one cassette.
You have one cassette?
I have one.
You have one cassette. Billy has no CDs or cassettes. He has no media. He's media free. Okay, there's a perfect example. This is like a little bit of a tangent, but I think you might appreciate it.
Yeah.
I made a compilation recently called Media Free Generation Loss.
Okay.
And it's a play on words. It'd be like good for Wheel of Fortune, right?
Yeah.
But media free generation. This new generation, everything's on iPod, right? And download. There's no actual physical media. There's no CDs or cassettes or 8-tracks or anything.
No laser discs.
No lasers. Generation loss is the term of duplicating a cassette to a cassette to a cassette to a cassette.
I see what you did there.
And each copy, there's a fidelity loss. But it's also something else. The generation is losing something, so it's a double meaning. So I thought it was kind of a clever title for the compilation.
How far have we degraded the generation loss? There's my one cassette. I own one cassette.
Pummel Jerk?
It's the first band I ever played in. There are 4 songs on that tape.
Wow.
I haven't heard that thing in 10 years. I don't own a tape player.
You don't have a cassette deck?
No. Do you have a tape to CD player?
I have cassette decks and I have a CD burner, so I can put any cassette to CD.
I would love to
I can
hear
put
how bad
vinyl to CD. I can put any analog source with RCA inputs onto CD because the CD burner acts like a tape deck.
Yeah, well, I need you to put that on there.
No problem. I can do that. Steve Parr brought me a record from I don't know when, and he put it on CD. And you can choose the sampling rate, but it just sounds better if you just done it a lot. You can hear the pops and cracks on the record, but it still sounds...
All right, side note to dude who emailed me and wanted more conversation between two people. This is the problem. You get away from pinball very quickly, and instead of having a nice, concise 45-minute show all about pinball, you end up with 2.5-hour marathons about Steve Parr, who you don't know, but I have his old cell phone number and still get calls for.
Well... Right, but we both work in the music industry, and it's funny you say there are people who would give a finger to have our jobs, and I think from working 10 years at Tower Records to 7 years at a music store to 17 years at Taylor Guitars, I've made a career of staying in the music industry.
Yeah.
I have nothing to complain about.
And yet, you bought a drum set today.
And I bought a drum set off of another employee that I sold to him.
Is this the same drum set you sold to him?
I sold him the same drum set, and he said, "Hey, do you want to buy it back?" I'm just staring at it, and he was all crestfallen or didn't want it. And I said, "Yeah, I'll buy it back, put new heads on it." And now I have 3 drum sets. So I have 3 drum sets and no pinball machine. That doesn't make any sense.
Did he make a profit on you?
No. Did he make a profit on me?
Did he sell it back to you for more than you sold it to him?
No, he sold it to me for less than I sold it to him.
Oh, there you go.
No, but he I have to watch the swearing. He beat it up pretty bad, so it needs some TLC.
Gotcha.
But I offered him full...
Did you see my Buddha amp in his garage by any chance? I'd like to get that back.
You might want to obtain that because things in that garage get dusty and dirty. I'm not saying it's horrible, but I am going to buy some turtle wax and have to work on the hardware too,
So I have a question.
So, but back to pinball. Yeah,
yes,
I should. I mean, No, if I had my way, I'd have a pinball arcade. I was talking to the owner of Taylor. I said, there's a place in Los Angeles. They've already beat me to the punch, and it's called Barcade.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, you can just do it better. I said, yeah, you're right. I could.
What does he know? It's not like he started from nothing and has $100 million company now.
What does he know? It's not like he started with 5,000 and turned it into a multi-million-dollar successful guitar company. He has no reality on starting a business. How dare he give me advice?
Yeah.
No, but that would be the ultimate. I would love to learn how to work on machines.
You say that.
You
No,
say that now.
It's actually fun. I love that part of it. And I'm not a handy type person. That's not me. You're much more than I am.
No,
and I
I'm
love
not,
that part of
though.
it. No, but you are. I
I'm
see
not.
you with tools. You carry tools with you for a sales job.
I carry tools with me for a sales job because I've worked on guitars in the repair department at Taylor Guitars. I have experience.
It's no different.
Okay, maybe it's no difference.
You might shock the hell out of yourself once or twice. But other than
I already
that, it's no
shocked
different
myself
here.
tonight when I had my hand on Twilight Zone and I touched.
Yeah, we have a little grounding issue with Bride of Pinball.
A little grounding issue.
See, Bride of Pinball's a re-import. If you notice the coin door on that,
Yeah.
it does not take quarters. That takes Deutschmarks.
Oh,
Yeah,
what country did that
and-
come from?
I'm sorry?
What country did it come? Oh no, it was made in the U.S. for another country.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then brought back. So it was a re-import.
A re-im?
And when they did the power supply over, let's just say something's not grounded exactly right in that game.
One of the cool things was, I have to tell you this because we're talking about pinball. You let me come over and play your games here when you're on vacation or something. And I was feeding your cat and everything. And it was cool when the ball got stuck and I'd open it up and take the glass down. I felt like, wow, maybe I could actually adjust or set these things up. And watching you convert the machines with LEDs, like when that multi-ball went off on Tales of the Crypt and does the strobe effect with LEDs, like I'm getting vertigo. This is like I'm gonna pass out. It's intense.
Honestly, I've had LEDs in all the games I've ever owned now. That game has some of the craziest strobing effect and lighting effect of anything. And yeah, there's a 6-ball multi-ball in that game for the electric chair mode. It's sort of the precursor to the Metallica electric chair mode in a lot of ways to me, but 6 balls with that flashing, it's pretty tough.
And plus, we've talked about this, like the guy from Nickel City who's moving some machines down to the place in Mira Mesa, and
they opened. Yeah, they're doing preview opening.
See, someone is gonna have a place with 10, 15, 20 pins, and they're gonna be the Mecca in San Diego. And it's gonna beat us to the.
See, the problem with Nickel City, and I'm thrilled because Nickel City's gonna be way closer to me now. Here's the problem with Nickel City. And here's what I told you. You can't just do pinball.
No, you can't.
Because if you just do pinball, you need to be the Pinball Hall of Fame, or you need to be, the Silver Ball Museum. You need to be some crazy giant thing of just pinball, and then you need to be in the exact right spot. So you got to do pinball and what Nickel City does is pinball and kid stuff.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to do with kid stuff.
I don't. And, being in my 40s, I don't want kids mucking up my games, but then I also want a generation to get into pinball. I don't want to take the route. I guess I have hope for pinball because after watching Special Inlet, they were saying, most people are not going to know what pinball is, and watching this resurgence with vinyl records and sales increasing there, I think, okay, there's a future for that. So I do want kids to play pinball, but
do you know what part of the resurgence really is right now that's happening? That's very real.
What?
Digital pinball.
Yeah, you told me that.
That's a big thing.
Yeah,
people playing pinball on their iPads and on their phones and stuff like that.
So that becomes a discussion. Like, okay, it's pinball and so my friends that I went to Amoeba with made me a flyer for my new business. Remember, I sent you a picture that was Protozoa, and it was beer, pinball, and vinyl. And Coin Op in North Park, they do it. They've got pinball and craft beer and video machines. And
I still haven't been there.
You haven't been there?
We should go there tomorrow.
We should go there tomorrow. Or do another podcast if, we get good feedback from this one and I can watch.
Hold on a minute. Just settle down with coming back on the show so quick.
What?
Settle down there.
No, but it's I was joking with Nate that this was episode 97, right? 97. And I started at Taylor Guitars in 1997. So I thought this would be kind of cool if I was on the show. But I didn't I was honestly nervous being on your show.
Nervous to be on this?
Yeah.
This?
Well, because we're talking about stuff and every time I say something or you answer something, I realize, yeah, dummy, you should have researched that before. I get
called out all the time. What was it recently? I called a display alphanumeric when it was actually only numeric. And I got an email just instantly from a really good dude, but who is listening to this right now, like smiling, knowing he got to correct me, Joe.
Well, I think here's what you bring to this too, and I don't want to offend anybody, but I mean, we do road shows, we do public speaking. I know, shudder to think, right? Especially after listening to this podcast and me,
stop it.
you know. But you do that for a while and you get used to it, and it's not a problem, you know. But I think a lot of people are more nervous about public speaking or talking to people. So the advantage you have with all your experience in the music industry is that you can promote this as your hobby, and
it is, and that's what I like about it. This is my contribution. You know,
it's a great contribution. I mean, when you tell me about your T-shirt sales, I'm totally floored.
I'm floored. I did a sale today to get rid of the old shirts. I sold like almost all of them.
This is inspiring. Maybe this will, you know, cause me to go, you know what? The only thing that's stopping me from doing anything is myself. You know?
You should buy that Bride of Pinbot. You should take that energy and write me a check right now for that Bride of Pinbot.
You brought me on the show just to sell me Bride of Pinbot?
Pretty much. By the way, watch out. It might shock you.
I could have David Hostler help me put a new power cord on with a 3-prong.
We'd fix it easy. It's an easy fix. I should have really already done. I'm just lazy. You know what my master plan though is?
What's your master plan?
Here's my master plan. I have a game on order right now. I have a brand new in-box game on order. It could be here in a week, could be here in a month. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where to put it. As you can see there, I mean, I guess I could squeeze one more game in there.
Squeeze into the game
but I'm not going to. Teresa would not enjoy that.
Why? Because in the way the keyboard?
The keyboard goes and space and just, that's a lot.
Yeah.
I'm going to need to get rid of a game. Now, she assumes that means to sell a game. Mm-hmm. And in the back of my head, I'm thinking, I could stick one in Zach's garage.
Well, that's what I'm hoping for.
I figured you're just waiting for that moment where I get to a point where I don't want to sell anything.
I guess there's the other side, too. Like, let's say I buy a machine.
Yep.
Like you did. You started, how many did you buy in the first? Just one?
I had one, yeah.
And then how long before you bought another?
Oh, not long. Like 60 days, maybe.
Okay, and then third?
6 months after that, maybe.
Yeah, I'll be on that treadmill. It'll be like the guitar thing. I'll be buying and selling pinball machines. And if you think guitars are bulky and hard to move around, I mean, pinball machine, you might as well be buying and selling pianos.
They're tough.
Yeah.
They are tough.
If I start that's one of my concerns. But if it does, and I start buying machines, and then my garage fills up, well, time to open a store. I mean, how many people run music stores on the same principle? They had so much gear in their garage that
you and I know one real well, Keith, my friend Keith.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's why the Island Music started.
Yeah,
he just bought so much stuff.
Right, and dealing with the dealers that we deal with, sometimes we go, why don't I just do this myself? Because, you know,
yeah,
I think we could do it better. But
all right, we got to wrap this up. Dude,
we got to edit this. That's what we have to do.
There's no editing.
Why is the right one red at the bottom?
You don't edit because that's you on the bottom and I'm on top.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a professional setup in here.
This is not a Mickey Mouse operation.
Yeah, I mean, we're doing this right.
I know. Poor Nate's like, next time I'm gonna have Billy Mitchell on the show.
No, Billy Mitchell couldn't talk pinball for 47 minutes with me.
Yeah, but he's a celebrity.
Sort of.
He's in a movie.
A documentary.
We should redo the show.
Redo what show?
This show.
This show?
Yeah.
We don't redo the show, Zach. The show is the show.
If you went 47 minutes, we could just redo it and do it in a half hour or something.
That's not happening.
Yeah, but I want to be called back on your show, and if I'm a lousy guest,
Zach, you'll be called back on the show. Don't worry. You'll be back.
To just wax on about pinball.
Yeah.
I need to
What do you think I've done for 96 episodes?
Well, again, why don't I own a machine? Why haven't I listened to your podcast? I could have learned a lot, and then I'd be a much more intelligent, guest.
Nothing's stopping you. I just got an email from a guy literally 2 days ago who spent his summer vacation so far listening from episode 1 all the way through.
How long is it going to take me? 96 hours?
Oh my gosh. Average show. Let's do some math with Nate. This is actually a sub thing we do on my show. It's called Math with Nate.
Math with Nate.
And this episode of Math with Nate, we're going to do, this is episode 97. I think I've actually done this part of Math with Nate before on the show. So 97 episodes times, we'll say an average show length of 45 minutes. That's 4,365 minutes of Coast2Coast Pinball divided by 60. 72.75 hours divided by 24. So you would take you just over 3 days straight listening to all the podcasts.
3 days straight.
And some of those shows are longer than 45 minutes, too. Like this one.
That's actually a name of a Peter Case song, 3 days straight.
3 days straight?
Mm-hmm.
But I assume that's about not drinking for 3 days.
No, it's actually being stuck in a coal mine for 3 days.
Or that. There you go. All right. Zach, thank you very much. We're going to end Coast to Coast Pinball. You know, I was supposed to do the highlights of 1997 on this episode, which we didn't do.
What's the highlights?
Well, I can't remember. I'd have to look it up. But 97 wasn't a great highlighted year from 97.
You mean highlights of pinball?
Of 1997 pinball, yeah.
Oh, well, there wouldn't be, right? Wasn't...
No, there was. That was
What were the highlights? I mean,
there was like 9 games released. Sega released, I think, 5 games, and Bally Williams 4 games that year, something like that.
I'm trying to remember from the documentary what was the year where it was sliding.
Medieval Madness came out in 97, so...
Oh, that was a good game. But like, it wasn't 93 the...
Medieval Madness did not come out in 90.
No, but 93, like the game started to slide a little bit, or the popularity of pinball slid a little bit.
That's when the popularity started dying.
But when did it come
Madness
back?
Came out. This is bad. This is why we should be stopping. So 97 was Medieval Madness's year, and also I had my notes for this show that we just didn't use. Circus Voltaire came out in 97. NBA Fast Break, No Good Gophers. The Star Wars trilogy, which is a Sega machine. You ever see the X-Files machine? They have that at Red Bank in Yestercades.
I've seen it, but it just seems like
it's not that great.
Yeah, like put me to sleep. If you're gonna do something with David Duchovny, do like Californication.
There you go, Californication, the pinball machine. So yeah, actually, I really love the games in '97, and we're gonna pick up with those in episode 98, where I'll cram the highlights of 97 and 98 all together.
There were some great games in 97.
97 was like, for a lot of people, they're one of the best years of the Williams, of the modern DMD Williams stuff.
Yeah, so the year I started at Taylor, I don't think I was playing pinball at all, but I played these games at the Hall of Fame. Definitely Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park, Starship Troopers.
Well, that's the Lost World Jurassic Park. That's not the Data East classic Jurassic Park. This is the egg on the playfield with a dinosaur hatching out of it Sega version, which is not
Circus Voltaire? Really?
Voltaire, great game. You know that game.
Yeah, it's a great game. 97.
Yeah. Friend of the show, John Papaduke, designed that game. So, anyway, we got to go.
All right.
Thank you, Zach.
Hey, thank you for having me on the show.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. Episode 98 will be up, hopefully, within 48 hours or so of this one posting. So, here on Thursday night, July 24th, we did episode 97 of Coast to Coast Pinball. Later.